Alright, I'm gonna try to keep this quick. Just want to do a little demonstration of how to draw Dementia's head specifically and how to space everything apart so that everything's not ramming into each other. So I always start with just an elongated oval, and then I add sides of the cheeks going down into the chin. It's actually really similar to 2D from the gorillas, except you know, 2D has a little bit more of a squished face, so it's convenient since I've been drawing him for a very long time. Okay, I add the ears, which are basically just, you know, ovals sticking out, and it's really easy to make them either too small or too big, so I'm just going to keep them there right now and then judge it based off of everything else I draw. Her neck is basically just skinny, you know, skinny regular cartoon lines, pretty much same as Danny Phantom even. Okay, and then I usually draw this diamond shape for her hood, just to rough it in, and then I round out the edges later. Okay. And when you're drawing, you should feel free to get as messy as you want, because you can always go back and clean up later. So I think the hood goes up a little bit higher, so I'm going to change that up a little bit, but it still basically would be like the same point concept. Just I set it a little bit low. Which is why you set your proportions first. Always. Okay. Let's see, there's that. Okay. So once you got the hood in there, this is where it gets a little bit tricky, because her lizard hoodie takes up one half of her head and then her emo hair takes up the other half, and you want to leave room for both. So for her full lizard hood, you kind of draw this triangle like that, and I draw straight through the skull because it's the easiest way just to keep the line flow going. And then from there I add the curves of the line. That's what that's called. I just woke up, so alright. Then for her emo hair, I kind of just block in a triangle, something like this, and it kind of, usually like, it halfway covers her ear, and in this case it halfway covers the outside of her ear, and then it usually covers about half of her eye, but since it's at a little bit of an angle for this one, it's only about like a quarter of her eye. She probably had her eyes in now, so the eyes are going to fall right where the ear points meet right here, and she's got really large eyes, so what I usually do is I start and I give it about that much space, which is about half the width of her eye total. I explained that a little bit more on a breakdown sheet, which you can download in the description. Then I basically just kind of go up and around like that. That's basically her eyes. Okay. And then she has this one weird bang right here, which kind of sits on her nose. So it kind of does that. And her nose is like right there. Okay. So you can see it kind of just sits right on top of her nose, kind of like that. And then we add the teeth to the lizard hood. And her lizard hood has 3 to 4, usually 4, but sometimes they hide one of them. And that's why it's really important to kind of make sure you're spacing everything out right, so that there's enough room for her lizard hoodie. Oh, and she also has a strip of hair right here, by the way, to disconnect her ear and the lizard hood. It's very important to make sure you've spaced everything out correctly so that it all fits. Otherwise, you're going to be trying to cram everything in, it's not going to work. Okay. And her ear's mostly covered up, but that's about what shows of her ear. And then for the top of her ear, I just draw like a rectangle pretty much with a little bit of a curve to it. And then this one's the ripped one, so you just kind of curve, you do two C's like that, or like a sideways M, however you want to look at it. Okay, and there's the inner ear. I'm going to erase all these hoodie guidelines. See, that's why you can get as messy as you want, because you can just clean it up later, or you can just put a sheet over the top of it and ink it, or you can take it into digital and then digitally ink it, whatever you want to do to clean it up. But the drawing is where you set the form and structure, proportions, all that stuff. Cleanup is just when you're making it look pretty. Okay, so her eyeliner is pretty simple. I usually just draw little squares for the eyelashes and then shade them in, and that's pretty much it. And then I usually start either at the back or at the front. If I start at the back, I give it a little bit of a width there, because it goes wide and then goes thin. And then again, add some squares. And we got her eyelashes. And you can be as particular as you want about that. I'm just going quickly, so. Alright, and this eye, of course, has the huge pupil. And this eye has the just small pupil, but it has a little bit of a hook in it, which is really hard to see here, but I did draw in more detail on the eyes construction worksheet. Okay, then add the smile, which is curved because her face is curved, and her vampire teeth, and her tongue. And a little bit of folds in it because she's kind of biting her tongue a little bit. Okay. And that's basically how you draw her head. Side view is pretty much the same thing, except you're just watching one half of the face. And make sure you get the pupils on the right sides, because that can get confusing. Alright, and I think that's as quick as simple as I can do it.